Yeah, so this is what first page of Anaconda Navigator. You can get some different layout if you have downloaded the operating version. Okay, so I had downloaded it 2 years back, almost 2 years back. So the old version, right? So after when you are in this page, we'll be using this Jupyter notebook, okay, for our Python practice, right? So there are different softwares you can launch from here. If you are launching this, launching some tool, that means it will run on your cloud. It will use the web browser. It will run on the cloud. Whatever you are doing, that will be automatically saved on the cloud, right? And you can see this RStudio. There is one option install. So your Anaconda from Anaconda Navigator, you can directly install RStudio. RStudio is a different software. It will run on your PC. Okay. Then there is another software called Orange. Orange, that is one machine learning software I was talking about last session. So this software will be using on the machine learning session in the upcoming session. Okay. So you can download and install this Orange also. I'll tell when to download. Right. So now we'll be launching our Jupyter notebook. There is another option, I guess, something Jupyter Lab. Don't use that one. Jupyter notebook will be using. Okay. So you click on the launch button, and after that, if you're opening it for the first time, they'll ask you which web browser you're gonna use. Right? Are you getting? For me, it will obviously take some time because I'm sharing my screen also, the entire screen I'm sharing. So be patient. Are you getting the options which web browser you're gonna use? Click on one web browser and there will be one checkbox that uh, never ask again, something like that. So click on that. I suggest you to use Chrome, Google Chrome only, because if you're using other browser like Firefox and Edge, then you'll not be having the options to download whatever you have written in the coding box. In Chrome, you will directly get one options, download whatever you have written in the code now. You can able to download it in a PDF format. In Chrome, you can easily download it. So I'll suggest you to use Chrome for that. Okay. After that, you will be getting this window. Are you all getting this? Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Yeah. So after you open, you will get this window and see this. This is my previous work I have done. So it's already saved in the cloud. So whenever I want to open it, I can open it easily. Okay. Just click on that, it will automatically open. I don't need to worry about how to save my work. Okay. It automatically save. Right. Next, to run, like to do it for the first time, you have to go to here, this new, click on new and go to Python 3. This Jupyter notebook is also known as Python 3. I don't know why, don't ask me why. Known as Python 3 also. Python 3 coding platform, you can say. Right, click on that. You'll be able to see another tab in which there will be a blank tab and you can start your work here. Everyone got it?
Yes.
Any doubt till now? Anyone?
No.
Yeah. So after you open it, you will have, I don't know whether you know it or not, there are different libraries in Python. So you can't directly write code and you can run it. First you have to import some libraries, then only you can write some code and you can run it. Otherwise it will not run. If you're not importing that library, it will not run, it will show error. Okay. So if you remember in RStudio also, we sometimes need to install some different packages, right?
Yes, I can remember.
Yeah. So whenever you are importing a file in CSV format I'm talking about RStudio. So RStudio, if you're importing some CSV file, what was the code? So read.csv file.choose, then header equal to T, right? Whenever you're importing it in Excel format, if you remember, you had to install one package, Excel package, right? So it's almost similar. You can say you need to first import the library in Python, then you can run the code. So there are different libraries, pandas, numpy, and many more. We'll come to that. So in first start with the basic. So suppose I want to write my name here, some simple statement. Okay, right? Python. Suppose I want to write Python session and today's date. So how do I write that? Simple text format I want to write. So remember in RStudio also we use hashtag for write something in text format. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, and here also you have to use hashtag, then whatever you want to write. Python session. Okay, right. And there is another difference in RStudio and Python, that yeah, to run this you have to run this. Okay, whenever you uh, as soon as you run it, your input there will be showing this third bracket will show one number. That's it's my first code, so it will show I an input and one, right? If it's my second code, then input two, right? So I have not run it till now, that is why it's blank now. So I can run it by clicking here. So what do you think? It's quite difficult now. Every time you write here and you just move your cursor over here and you want to click it, it will take some time. Not that much convenient for a coder. So that is another option. In RStudio, what you used to do, you just simply press enter to run the code, right? Can you try pressing enter here? Just try write this and press enter. What will happen? See what is happening here. I just press enter. So my input box is increasing, or it just go to the next line, right? It's not the right way. So here what I do, I just press the backspace button. So here to run the code, the shortcut method is you have to press shift and enter simultaneously. Okay, press shift and enter. Now see that my code has been, or my whatever I've written, that is executed properly. Once again, yeah, whatever I've written this executed properly. That's why it's coming input one, and there is no output now here. Whatever I've written here, there is no output involved for this particular statement. That's why no output is coming. Okay, everyone got it now? Shift and enter. If you have any doubt,
Yes.
you can tell me. Yeah. So either you can press this run button here. You can just click it, or shift and enter. Shift and enter will be very convenient. Okay. So that's the thing. Next is, suppose I want to write something. I want to write some text. I'm not importing any library till now. Just simple Python I'm doing. So text, suppose I want to write uh, whatever you want to write, you have to use the quotation format, either single quote or double quote. Okay, when to use single quote and when to use double quote, we'll come to know that. First here I am using single quote and I am writing here hello, and I'm using the black slash button slash key. Okay, this one. Just press enter. Right, I've written hello COVID, and again I'm pressing enter. So this is my text I've written. Or else I will write I'll write text again. So I'll write it at text one, just for understanding. My text one is hello COVID. So I want to know how this text actually written, or the what will be my output for this particular text. Okay, so to get the output I'll write print. Okay. So whenever it's in text format, you will get it in dark red or maroon format, maroon color format. And whenever you want to get some output, that will be in green color. Okay, so print, I want to print the text one, right? Print text one in bracket and hit enter. If this is how I'm getting the output, hello COVID. There is no space over here. Between hello and COVID, there is no space, right? Are you all getting it?
Yes.
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 This is what simple. It's another format I will come. So another text, suppose text two, I'm giving the name. Okay. So I'll write as I'll write as there will be three quote. Okay, three single quote in the beginning, and there will be three single quote at the ending. Are you getting my point? There will be three single quote in the beginning, three single quote in the ending. Okay, so I'm not completing my sentence. So hello COVID, to stop. What do you want to say? How are you? Okay. This one, suppose I want hello COVID is in the first line. Okay. And how are you in the second line, suppose I want. So how I will do that? How I will do that? Just press enter and complete with three single quote. Okay. Done.
Yes.
Next print. Let me try this. Text two. Fine. This is how we want. Hello COVID in the first line, and in the second line, how are you? Right?
What's the use
So
of
this
three inverted commas?
we means we'll be getting it in next line. Here also I have used now, but I'm not getting in the next line. It's coming in coming together now.
So if we want the next line, we have to use three inverted commas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what the basics. Okay. Now there are different libraries we'll be talking about. So there are pandas, NumPy. Pandas and NumPy generally used for different analysis and for visualization purpose or some graphical plot. We'll be using Matplot library. Okay. So there are different methods. Means there is a particular method in which you have to import. You have to follow that method only. Okay. So for importing some Excel sheet or some CSV format data in the in Python, your initial step will be you have to import libraries. So what I will do, I will import pandas, because panda will help me to import Excel sheet. Okay. If I'm not importing panda library, I will not be able to import any Excel sheet or CSV data. Getting my point? So first step will be import pandas as PD. Okay. So every time we will not be writing pandas. Okay, we'll be write for pandas, we'll be write PD. Anything we want to import from panda, we'll be writing PD. Okay, this is what another thing we want to import. Just press enter. Import numpy, numpy as np. Numpy will be using as np. Okay, and we will be doing some graphical plot or some visualization thing. So we'll be importing mat matplot library from pyplot. So matplot dot pyplot, that is what the library defines. Okay, as ELT. So matplot lib.pyplot, that will define as ELT. Got it? These three initially we'll be using. So I have to just execute it. I've written the code in the input command, just shift and enter. It will take some time because it's importing. So if it's in star, it's star here. That means it's still not executed. Okay, you have to wait for some time. Yeah, now it's executed. See, so import. Okay, this is what we have imported. Now we can import the Excel sheet. You have the Excel sheet, now. Do you have the Excel sheet?
Yes.
We'll be using that 25 sales data. So before you import anything, you have to define the path here. In RStudio, what you have just written the code and I can choose the file. Now. Here we will not be able to choose any file. You have to mention the path and Python will automatically get the this Jupyter notebook will automatically get the file. Okay. You remember how we choose the file from or how we import the file in RStudio. Just run the code and there will be one pop-up window from where you have to choose the file wherever you have kept your file.
Yes, a small pop-up window.
Yes, but here you will not be getting any pop-up window. You have to mention the path here. Jupyter will automatically work in the background and it will get the file from your system. So what I'll do, I'll go to my whatever I have kept my file. So this is the file I'll be using. This is first thing you have to understand in which format the file is. So my file is in CSV format. Okay. So now I have to get the path. So here you can see here this is the path. My file is in computer, local disk E, and the folder I have created here is dataset. Okay, so I'll click here. So this is what E drive and the dataset. So I'll copy this path. Just Control C. Are you getting it? Any confusion in that? This is very vital for how to import the Excel file or any data file.
Okay.
So I've copied this one. Okay, so I'll just go to here. Okay, so this is my path. So I'll make create one name. So path, suppose path one I'm giving because I'll be importing so many files. So this is path one for file number one. Okay, path one. Just I'm giving the path name. Okay, so E drive, and before you write the path, you have to use single quote. Single quote, then start writing the path. E drive, then dataset. This is the path I have given now. Next is what? My next thing is I have to give the file name or which file I want to import from. I have so many files here. No? I've just given the file name or the folder name till here. Okay, there are so many files in this particular folder. I want to get this file only. So I'll simply copy this name. Just click on it and Control C. You copy this name. Okay, and what you have to do. This is backslash, right? After E drive, I'm getting a backslash. So Python will not understand this backslash. You have to convert it into forward slash. Always. For importing file, Python will not understand or this Jupyter notebook will never understand your backslash. You have to just remove that backslash and you have to convert it into forward slash. Okay. So next thing also, the forward slash I'll be putting and I'll paste the file name. So this is my file name and dot. Okay. I have to give dot and what is the type of file? It's a CSV file. So dot CSV and complete the code, single code. This is what my file. I'm getting it from my E drive from the folder dataset, and my file name is 25 sales record underscore CSV. I've given the name here. That is not the meaning of CSV data. And dot CSV will define that it's a CSV file. Clear everyone till now?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. So this is what my path is clear now. So I'll just put shift and enter. It's been executed. I just define my path here. Now I will import the data. So this is 25 sales data, right? I'm just giving the name. Uh, yes, data. Okay. Right. Whatever name you want to give the data file, just to uh, name it. You can name anything, whatever you want. I'm giving sales data as data. Okay. Equal to. I'll import it. So it's PD. So Python will be Python will be using pandas. Pandas library will be using to import the data file. So PD dot read. What was the code in RStudio? Read dot CSV, right? Or CSV file. Here PD dot read underscore CSV. PD dot read underscore CSV is the code for importing the file. Then bracket will start. Then you have to give the path. The path is what we have already defined. So path one. Getting it, everyone? Is it clear till now?
Yes.
Yeah. So shift and enter. Okay, my data file has been imported. It's been executed. See here, there is no error. There is no error showing here. Okay. You want to see how the error will come? I'll make one mistake and I'll show you. Suppose I'm not giving this underscore button and I'm pressing the dot button. pd.read.csv suppose I've given and I'm executing this. See this. This is the error. This error is coming in. Getting it?
Hmm.
So there is some mistake obviously. So it will be read pd.read underscore csv and shift enter. See this five after five it's become eight. Why? Because I've pressed three times here. Shift enter I pressed three times. I've executed this particular code for three times. So it's automatically shifted to next command. Okay, that's why it's eight now.
Yes.
Now my file has been imported properly. Now my main aim is I want to see whether my file has been imported properly or not. Okay, so in RStudio, what I used to do? What I used to do? Head and tail, right? Head for first how many letters? First five letters, right?
Oh, 10.
First 10. First five letters or six letters? First five letters for head, right? So here
Okay.
also we'll be using head and tail command, but in different way. Okay, so I'll write print. I want to get the first five data points from my data set. So print is data, that is the name of my data file. Print is data dot head bracket. This is called open and close parenthesis, if you know in coding term. I'm not written anything inside the first bracket open and first and close, right? So this is known as open and close parenthesis. And after that, again, the main bracket should be closed. And now your aim is press shift and enter. See this. This is what my uh, data point was. So there are different rows, right? So that's why it's come to the second line. And showing us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means what? This is the index number. 0 means here 1. The first row second row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row. As there are different columns, so it's come to the second line, third line. So how many variables? The country was there, item type, sales channel, order priority, and order date, order ID, ship date, unit sold, like that. There are different variables. All the variables are showing for the first 5 uh, observation, correct? So this head command will give me the first 5 observation, right everyone?
Okay.
Yeah. Now suppose I want to get the uh, next, suppose last five observation. How do we get that? Anyone? You can wildly guess now.
Tail.
Yeah. How do you write the code now?
In place of head, tail.
Yes. Another thing. Suppose here the code will be same now. Just I want to uh, remove this head and want to replace it with tail, right?
Yes.
So why to write the code again and again?
Hmm.
1 second, just I'm getting on call. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was telling, why to write this code again and again. In RStudio, what we did, just up key and down key. If you press the up key, you will automatically get the previous code, right? You remember that?
Yes.
But here we will not be getting that. So here what you can do, you can just copy this, select it and Control C, and just paste it here. And I want to just remove this head and want to write tail. Got it? So this is 24. Why it's 24 coming? There are 25 data points, right? But it's 24 now. So it should be start from 25, 24, 23, like that, na? The last five from
Yes.
21. But why it's coming from 24? Simple, like common sense. Because it's starting from zero. First first row is represented as zero. So that's why it's 24. N minus one type. As it starts from zero, so the last one will be represented. The index number will be obviously 24. Okay. So now this is my tail of the data point. Got it? So suppose I want to check how many, suppose this is a huge data set, and now I want to check how many rows are there and how many columns are there. Okay, forget about it. I can easily count it. This is small data. But if it's a large data set, how do we get how many rows are there and how many columns are there? That will be my next point. So I'll write print. Okay, print, then open and close parentheses, and uh, inside the parentheses I'll be writing my data is data. Is data, I've given the name, right? Dot save. Data save I want. Okay, hit and enter. This is the number of rows and this is the number of columns. There are 25 rows and 13 columns. Got it? My next aim will be, I will be doing further analysis. So my next aim will be, what are the variables are there? So variable means what? The column, understanding the column, right? Column represents the different variables. Okay, so I want to know the variable. So it will be the code print is data, that my data file name, then columns. Yeah. Can you see what is the mistake here? Can you tell me? Anyone?
Column spelling.
Spelling.
It's missing n. Right. Now see, these are all the variables. So this is from this output I can easily understand how many variables are there and what are my variables. I can easily see it and I can easily do my further analysis. Okay. So this is what my data set on data, how many variables are there, the data column. Next, I'll be seeing my data type. What are the different types of data I have? Okay, so same print, and then the name of the data, this data dot data type. So the code is D types. Okay, then enter. Right. So here country, item type, sales channel, order priority, order date, all are object type. This is a text format, right? Country, item type, sales, order priority, text format. So it's showing it as object type, right? And this order ID is integer. How can I tell that integer means what? Particular value, right? Order ID. This order ID is integer, right? So there is no fraction involved here. And this unit sold is also integer type. This unit sold is also integer. Integer 64 means what? Can anyone tell me? Float 64. Float means what? There will be some decimals. It is total profit is having decimals, so that will be in float. What is this 64? Can anyone tell me that?
Bytes.
Yes, it's 64 bytes. Okay. So this is what the data type, different data types. I can easily check using this particular input command. Till now, I hope it's clear for everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So next thing is that this is what simple thing we have done. Okay. Next, suppose I'll be importing other files. Another file I have given fish data. So regression part will be doing suppose here. So I've already given the name path one. So here I have to give the name path two. I'll be doing it very fast. Already done it. So here. So this is my data, so the regression data. It's in CSV format. So I'll click here. So this is my path. Now I'll paste it here. This back. Oh, sorry. I have to give it uh, the quote, single quote, and I have to convert this backward slash into forward slash. Okay, then forward slash and the file name I have to give. So this is my file name and it's in CSV format. So file name dot CSV, then close the quote, then shift and enter. Yes, it has been executed. Now the same thing. So I will just copy it or try to write this one. Okay, okay. So just I need to change the name also. Suppose I am giving it a data one. Okay, and the path will be path two. Everything will be same, no? The data file name I have to change and the path name. The path two I am using. Yeah. Okay. So again, I'll be checking whether my data file has been properly executed or not. So what I'll do, I'll print the data of first five data points. So my data folder data file name is now data one. Okay, print data one dot head. Yeah, this is what my data set is. Okay, so here you can see there are different species and weight. So I can say this. I want to do the regression method here. So I can say this weight is dependent on this length one, length two, length three, height and width. So length one, length two, and length three has been measured in different angles. Okay, if the length of a fish is more, then obviously the weight will be high, right? It's very simple. The height of a fish is very height of a fish is uh, more, than weight will obviously be more. Correct, right, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what uh, the simple thing. Imported the data. Now there are different things. So suppose we have you remember that we have imported one thing, that is plot, matplot library dot pyplot. Okay. So suppose we want to plot something. How do we plot that? How do we plot that? Anything if you can compare with RStudio and you can say R programming. Suppose I want to check here how this weight has been varying with respect to the height or width. Okay, so my command will be the data file name, data one I want to plot. So plot is the command, data file name and dot plot. Then I want to plot in between height and weight, right? How height has been changing with respect to the weight, or weight has been changing with respect to height. Okay, so it's very case sensitive. So see here, my variable is written W capital. If I've written here small w, then it will not read. So you have to write W capital also. Okay, with respect to weight and height. Getting it? I want dot plot or scatter plot. So my uh, style of plot will be in single quote is small o. Small o will define scatter plot. Yes. Can you see this? I was correct, right? What I was saying. If the height is more, then weight is also more. It's this linear trend, right? If we plot something trend line, if we plot, it will be a linear trend, and it will be positive slope, right? Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what the uh, plot is, scatter plot. So that is a simple method, right? For simple linear regression. Scatter plot is the simple method of simple linear regression. This is how we can easily understand. Okay. This is what the plot is. Suppose I want to check whether there is any outlier is there or not in a particular variable. Suppose in weight, weight is my dependent variable. I want to check if there is any outlier in this particular variable or not. Outlier means what? We have to plot box plot, right? So here the command is plt. Plt we have already imported here. Plt. Okay. So plt dot box plot. Plt dot box plot. Then I have to name the data point. So my data set name, the data one. Okay. Then in the third bracket, you have to mention your variable name for which you want to plot the box plot. So I want to plot it for weight. Okay. In the single quote. Okay. Just press shift control shift and shift and enter. Okay. So this is what my box plot is, and I can see there are 3 outliers. Can you see this? This is my box plot is, and there are 3 outliers. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So for different variables, I can easily do that. Next, we can calculate different things: mean, median, mode, uh, different things. Okay. So first, suppose weight. This is a particular variable weight, and I want to give a name y. So this is my dependent variable. This will be my dependent variable. So this will be my y, and this all will be my x1, x2, x3, x4 like that. Okay. So how to name that particular variable weight? I want to name it as y. So y equal to the data set data one, and in third bracket you just mention the variable name you want to rename it. Right. This has been executed. Now, if I write y in place of weight, that will identify the variable weight here. Okay, getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. Now my next point is I want to check the mean, median, mode of this particular weight variable. Okay. So how do I check that? So for which library we'll be using here for mean, median, mode? Mean, median, mode will be for mean and median we'll be using this numpy. And for mode we have to import another library that is called scipy. So I have not imported the imported scipy here. I have to import that library also. So there are different libraries I'll be talking about now. So I'll be importing all those libraries which we will be using in future. I'll be importing all the file now. So just let me copy paste the thing again. All will be in similar in the same input box. This we have oh, sorry. This we have already imported. Next thing will be importing import scipy. Okay. Scipy is another library we'll be importing. Next, uh, from scipy will be importing stats. Stats is the function which will be used for calculating the mode. So import stats. Okay, stats also will be importing. Okay, right. So another library is known as import statistics. So in near future we'll be using this library also. So let me import these two. Import math also. Math is another library which will be used. And next is import tax model dot API. That is also another library. Let's say the name is huge, right? So I'll sort in the name as SM, stats model as SM. Okay. Are you all getting it? All the library, you're inputting, no? You're doing it or not?
Yes.
Yes. So that is another thing. Stats model are imported. Any other thing? Uh,
Oh, actually, I have a doubt.
huh?
I have a doubt.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
So I am seeing that this last import stats model, it's not showing in my Python window.
Why? You are getting
Here,
error.
yeah, actually, I'm using different. I'm not using Jupyter. I'm using PyCharm, but still it should work. I think so.
No, I don't know. PyCharm is a different thing.
But yeah, but stats model, it's not showing.
I don't have idea about PyCharm. PyCharm, the code is quite different. You know Jupyter Notebook.
Huh?
You know Jupyter Notebook. You have
Yeah, I
idea about
know.
Jupyter. So, no, yeah. I don't have idea about PyCharm.
Okay, okay,
The
no
coding
problem.
is quite different.
Okay.
Yes. So this yeah, I have done a mistake. Yeah, you have to write it from SciPy because its stats model is will be imported from SciPy. From SciPy import stats. Okay. This is how you have to write it. Okay, that is another thing from SciPy dot stats import skew to check the skewness of the data. Okay, this is another library will be imported. Yeah, that is fine till now. Okay. So it will take some time. Let's execute it. Yeah, it has been executed. So my next thing is that what I want to check the mean of this variable y or the weight. Okay. So mean, the command is np.mean because it will be using the numpy library. So np.mean and I want it for y. So this is what the mean of my variable weight, right? Same thing, the median np.median, then y. So median is 273. Okay. Next, suppose would be we want the mode. Okay, so for mode we will be using stats. This from SciPy library has imported stats now. So stats will be using. So stats dot mode, then y. This is what the mode is. Mode means what? How many number of times a particular maximum number of times a particular observation is repeating, right? So this is what the mode is. 300 is the mode and it's repeating for what is the count? 6 times, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Next is suppose we want to get the percentile. So percentile means what? In the box plot we get 0 percentile and 25 percentile. The lower control limit. I'll go to the box plot. Yeah. So this is what the lower control limit, right? This is the 0 percentile. This is 25. This is 50. This is 75, and this is 100, right? Suppose I want to get this particular variable weight and to get all the percentile values, 0 percentile, 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay. How do you get that? This will also be using the NumPy library, the np dot percentile. Okay. So the variable y, comma, 0 percentile. 0 percentile will be 0. Okay. Same thing. I'll just change this thing will be changed, right? Next thing will be 25 percentile. I'll just copy it. I'll paste it and I'll change this 0 will be now 25, 25 percentile. I'll hit enter. My 25 percentile is 120. Again, I'll be changing it to 50 percentile. 50 percentile is 273. So 50 percentile means what? This is the median, right? Now check this. This median value and this 50 percentile 273. It's matching, right? Code is been
Yes.
executing properly. Again, suppose I want for 75th percentile. This is 650, and for 100 percentile 1650. Okay, so let me confirm that the 100 percentile means what? That is the maximum value, right? Getting it? 100 percentile means maximum value, and the 0 percentile means it's the minimum value. Okay. So how do you check the variance, standard deviation, and all? We have imported for variance we'll be using NumPy library only. So NumPy variance var y. So this is what the variance is for the particular variable y. Y means what? The weight variable. I am doing it for only one variable. You can do it for other variable also. Okay. So this is what the variance is. Now I want to check the standard deviation. So standard deviation, how do you do that? For standard deviation, we'll be using this library, statistics. Okay. So statistics dot estdv. Okay, and then bracket the variable name. This is what the standard deviation is. Okay, got it. Next, we want to check the skewness value, positive skewness or negative skewness. How much is the skewness value? Data is skewed or not? So I've already included skew, if you remember. So skew is my command, then the variable y, and hit enter. So this is what the skewness value is. Okay, right, everyone?
Yes.
This all are the basics mathematical function, whatever we have done till now. Now my main objective is to do the regression analysis for this particular data set. Weight, length, one length, two lengths, and all. Weight will be my dependent variable, other things will be my independent variable. Okay, so I have to import different libraries again for running the regression process. Okay, so these are all the libraries you need to remember actually. Some stats models dot. You need to remember all these. There is no shortcut or anything. Stats model dot formula dot API. You need to import OLS, ordinary least square. regression we'll be using here is ordinary least square. This is what we will be importing. Okay, next is that from sklearn. Okay, sklearn dot linear underscore model will be importing linear regression. This is what another library, linear regression. Okay, so we want for regression we want ANOVA table also, right? For ANOVA table there is another library. So from stats model dot stats dot ANOVA we will be importing ANOVA dot lm. Lm defines the linear model, and third, if we want to do some plot in regression, the histogram and all. So for that we'll be importing import matplot. We have already imported that, but it's better if for regression what are the library you required, keep it in one input command. Pyplot matplotlib.pyplot as plt. This is what we require. Okay, the library for linear regression. Done, everyone? Done, everyone? Am I audible? Hello?
Just doing.
Yeah. So this is the import. Then we'll be doing the regression. So I'm naming my regression as regression model, suppose REG model. Okay. Then the OLS regression. So OLS. Then you have to write formula equal to. We'll be doing simple linear regression here. Suppose. Okay. So I'm taking only one independent variable. Suppose this weight and height. Okay. Simple linear regression. So formula. Then in double quote you have to write weight. Then you have to use the tilt button, tilt key. If they are just below your escape button, tilt key. Weight, tilt height. Okay, so first one will be considered as dependent variable and second one will be considered as independent variable. Okay, just came outside of the quote and then comma. Then you have to define the data from which data file you want to use for regression. So data equal to I have given the name as data1, my file name. Okay, data1 dot fit, then open and close parentheses, then enter. Okay, I'll press shift enter. This is what my regression model that has been executed. Now I want to get the output. So print regression model dot summary, then open and close parentheses and the main bracket should be closed and then shift enter. Yes, this is what the result. So just regression result. So all the things you are getting, the R square, adjusted R square, your rate statistics, uh, the log likelihood value. Here you can get your this coefficient table, right? Coefficient standard error, T. T, how do you get that? Coefficient divided by standard error. Okay, the Dalton-Watson statistics. All the things you are getting. Skewness status, right? All the regression output you are getting.
Yes,
Except
all the data.
yes, except the ANOVA table. ANOVA table you are not getting. If you
Yes,
remember
yes,
in SPSS, we got the ANOVA table also. In
yes,
the output. So now you have to get the ANOVA table. So to get the ANOVA table, you should remember we have imported one library. This is ANOVA underscore lm. Okay. So I want ANOVA underscore lm of this regression model. This is the REG model. Why I'm writing, because I've given the name. My model is REG model. Okay, so this is what, and shift enter. Yeah, this is what my ANOVA table is. It's a simple linear regression, that is why only one variable and the rest is. Got it?
Yes.
This is what now I'll go to multiple linear regression model. Okay, so I'm copying it, same thing, and I'm renaming it. I suppose uh, I'm naming it MREG model, multiple regression model. So there will be obviously more than one independent variable. Same thing. How do you add the independent variable? That is the main thing here. So height is one independent variable. I want other variable also. There was one variable, so I'll add plus the other variable. Okay, which was another variable. Okay, plus length one, length two, and length three was there, right? Length one is another variable. Then again plus length two plus length three. Then everything will be same. Okay, just shift enter. Then same thing. I'll just copy it, the output, the summary. So I'll just rename or I have to replace the name. MREG model I've given. Now press enter. See this is what the output of multiple linear regression with the independent variable name, height, width, length, one, length two, and length three. All these things are coming in the coefficient table, right? See, this is how this values are changing. When I had used only one variable, my R square value was 0.525. Okay, now my R square value is what? 0.885. That's very good, right? Darwin Watson value is also increasing here, and what other things? That is, R square is also increasing. The statistics, and all the things are getting improved when I'm adding more values. Means what? Adding extra independent variables is having impact, positive impact on the analysis. Okay. Same thing to get the ANOVA table for the multiple linearization. Uh, what I uh, so I'll do rename it MREG model I'd given. Yeah, this is what the ANOVA table for multiple linearization model. Okay, got it. Clear, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
So I'll do another method for simple linear regression. Okay, first what we have to do, we have to define the dependent variable and the independent variable. So my dependent variable, how do I represent it? DEP underscore VAR equal to my data point. So data one, from data one, my dependent variable is weight. Weight is my dependent variable. Then my independent variable, so INDP, independent variable, equal to from data one in third bracket, suppose height. Okay, and press enter. Uh, shift and enter. Okay. Next, I have to execute as INDP underscore variable equal to s dot add underscore constant. Add some constant in a different variable. Okay, and INDP underscore variable. Okay, so I'll continue. The network is not defined. What is the error here? Okay, let me try simple linear. Yes, I'm giving the name as SL model, and then SM dot OLS, then I'll write the dependent variable, comma, dependent variable, and then INDC variable. Okay. Result equal to SL model dot fit, open and close parenthesis, then print result dot result. I want the summary of the result. So result summary. Yeah. See what I'm getting. This is another method. I'm just defining my dependent variable and independent variable. Okay. Before from the data from my data set. After that, I've just written the code. Yeah. To run the uh, regression. But this is another method. Nothing to worry about it. Okay. Yeah, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what the regression process in the Python.
Quite
So
complex.
yeah, it's complex. But if you know the coding, then it's
Mm.
easy. You just need to import and see how easily I'm getting all the output here.
Yes.
I've just imported. Forget about all those things, mean, median, mode, and all. Yeah. Here
Yes.
I've just defined the path. Okay, and then I have imported this. So these two you required. Okay, you don't need all these. These two commands you required, and after that directly you can. So obviously you have to import the library first. Then those two commands, and after that here these two. So only 4 lines. Within using a four lines of command or the code, you can easily get the output. It's very easy in Python. If you remember all the code, yeah, you obviously have to remember. So ANOVA underscore LM, if you don't remember, or this, how do we represent the formula here? If you don't remember, then that will be difficult. Okay. So next thing is that, or probably we'll do it in the next session. This is simple in regression mode. We can have completed today.
Okay.
So we can do multiple linear regression. Sorry, multiple simple and multiple we have done. So we can do logistic regression also.
Yes.
So then,
Logistic.
huh?
Yes. Logistic regression we can
Yes.
do.
So logistic regression and some visualization we'll be doing in the next session.
Mm.
Another session for Python. Okay, that's it. And I'll be sharing this. You can download it. I'll also how to download it. Whatever you have run the code here, no? Yeah. One more thing. I am not telling that. Suppose I have this extra input bar, right? I don't want it because I have done my coding till here.
Okay.
How to delete it? Whenever you are clicking inside, the it's showing us green, right?
Yes.
Click it outside, it will be showing us blue.
Yes.
So just click outside and press DD. Two
Okay.
times DD.
Yes. It happened.
Deleted. No?
Mm.
Suppose I want now I want to write something extra I want to add. So how do I get extra input bar? Just click outside and press A. A means above. If you want I was in this particular input bar, so I have pressed A. That's why it's coming above. Okay, I am now here in this 44. I'm pressing B. B means below. So I'm getting one extra, just below of the previous one. Got it?
Okay.
Now I want to delete it. So double D, just double D. Always you need to keep it in blue. If you are in green, then it will not execute that. A, B or a DD button will not be working. If outside, it's in blue, then you can do it. Yeah. Now thing is that whatever we have done today, I'll write Python session one. Select the okay. So this is 45 is coming here because my last thing was on 44. Okay. So I press shift enter here again, so it's coming to 45. Now I want to save it. So you just go to file, download as. There are different format you can download. So this PY format is there. PY means I was talking about one software called Python IDLE. That is the general Python software. So Python IDLE, if you're working on Python IDLE, then if you want to save it, so it will be, the extension will be .py. Okay. So this Jupyter Notebook extension is ipy.ipynb. This is an extension of Jupyter Notebook.
Okay.
Getting it?
Mm.
Okay. So generally we do importing ipynb or py format, but I want it as a PDF format because if I save it in ipynb now, it will not be, you will not be able to open it if I share the file with you, because this is running in local host, means what, it's running on my system. You will not be able to open .ipynb file. It's quite difficult. What I'll do, I'll just press Control P. Control P means what? The print key, right?
Yes.
Shortcut of print. So press it in Google Chrome, this screen will appear.
Okay.
Now you can see here, save as PDF
Save.
and save,
Mm.
and whatever you want to save. Okay.
Got it.
So I'll write my Python session 1. Okay. And okay. Yeah, save. It is saved in PDF format in my system. Okay. So whatever we have done today, I'll share it in the PDF file. I'll share in the group. You can practice.
Okay.
Yes.